Good morning. This is Steinmeyer. I'm here at the Texas Trappers Association meeting, spring meeting, and Clayton Richards has agreed to do a demo or a video of my death ray so I can try to save some people money. The death ray has an internal quirk about it that the caulking gun wears out from time to time, especially if it's treated in certain ways, which I will talk about here after a bit. But the fact of the matter is it takes a lot of money to send the death ray back to me, usually around $15 to $20 shipping, back to me, be repaired, put a $15 caulking gun in it, and then another $15 or $20 sent it back. I'm trying to do this to save you the money of the shipping in the death ray. You can go to the Home Depot store and buy the caulking gun that matches this. It's the only one that has the orange aluminum handles or cast handles. The rest of them are all a stamped steel handle. And this style of gun, I intended to have a gun with me to show you the take apart of the things, but I did not. I got out of the house without it, so I do not have it with me. So we're going ahead, forging ahead to do this without the gun. I took apart a 2-foot death ray here. These are the parts laid out in the order in which they go in the gun. And I will show you explicitly how each piece goes in as we go here. Okay, now to put this parts into perspective here, the first thing we do is take the third part. We have to kind of jump around here just for a moment. Put that on the end of a pencil or anything and drop the piece. Put the piece on the end of a pencil. I use an Allen wrench a lot of times. Drop it in and fish it into the hole down in the end to where it protrudes out the end. Stick your finger inside the body, hold that piece in place, put the spring in place, put this in place, hooks under the tab, line up the hole through the thing, and insert the pull rod into it. That's the first step in putting it together. And I've got a little piece of Loctite on that end yet. There we go. All right, the next piece is the centered iron feeder. It has a dot on one side and one shoulder that is less abrupt than the other side. You can see it if I hold it that way. Okay, the dot goes to the rear of the gun. Drop it in the top of the gun and hold it in place and start it on the end of the rod on the inside of the gun. Okay, once you get to that point, pick up the spring. There's two ends of the spring. One end has the spring protruding a little bit. This one is flat. This one protrudes a little bit. The protruding spring goes to the rear. And what that does is keeps it from backing off when you put it together. At this point, slide it on in. You have it in this situation now. You can't put the pull rod all the way through until you drop that centered iron piece in. So, okay? The next piece is this plastic washer.
They're up and down.
Okay. Next piece is this plastic washer. It will have some 3 little dots on the back side of it. This is the part that goes to the rear. That goes to the caulking gun side. Next piece is the bonnet. There's 3 holes drilled in it. The 2 that are closest together goes to the bottom of the gun. It would go like that. The next piece is the blue washer. It doesn't really make any difference which way that one goes. And then the final piece of this run is to put that in like that and then get it started. You have to compress the spring slightly, so you have to grab it and kind of shake it around to get it started. And sometimes it can be kind of a pain. Well, make a monkey out of me. There we go. Once you get it started, it screws right in by hand. Don't try to force it. Make sure that you still got the 2 holes on the lower side and the one on the top. Okay, at this point, you're back together. Now, there's a spanner wrench that I use to snug this up slightly. You don't really have to have that, but it helps to hold that bonnet where you want it while you finish the rest of it. At this point, you put this assembly back into the body of the ray. This is where, if you line them holes up, the top one is where you start. So line them 2 holes up, start the screw in it, which is hard to do for me anymore because I'm so fumble-fingered. This is about the best way to go about it. Run it in, don't have to be tight, just run it in to where it's snug. Make sure that the holes are lined up in the other 2 lower holes.
Starting in a few minutes in the next building over, and Robert Helms will be starting his demo in a few minutes in the building next door.
This time, go back and just give them a snug. That's all it needs. You can do it with a regular screwdriver. At this point, you want to make sure that the rod is smooth and clear. Doesn't bind or do anything. If it binds, you can take a hammer and kind of tap on that handle a little bit, because that kind of works everything into place to where it situates it in the place where it needs to be. Now, the last thing to putting the main body of the gun together, there's a rubber bumper that keeps the rod from banging hard against the body of the gun. Start that on. Just put it on far enough to make it sit in place. And then the pull ring is tapped in place. And Loctite is your friend on some of these pieces. The main set screw here will have a tendency to shake loose if you don't use Loctite, and it's also the same way with the barrel, with the nut going on to the pull rod and the nut on the quick link. I'll show you in a bit. Put a drop of blue Loctite, make sure it's blue Loctite and not red Loctite, into the hole that screw fits in. Make sure it's started right, and then make sure that the head of that screw fits into the hole of the pull ring, like that. That puts it all back together. You're ready at that time to put the cable back on. Like I say, Loctite is your friend. Put a drop of blue Loctite, just a drop. Don't overdo it. Start it on the pull ring. I use a pair of locking pliers, small locking pliers, and clip them on to there. Normally I put this pull ring here between my toes to hold it into place. Spin it on, I'm too high there. Spin it on, snug it is all you need to do with the Loctite. It will keep it in place. The last thing we do, open the quick link, enough to get the cable on. Cable's put in place. Once more, a drop of blue Loctite right on the threads there. Snug it up. I usually use an adjustable end wrench. This snug is all you need. And there you have it, the complete ray. So, I hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, go to my website. Call me. I will be more than glad to walk you through anything that you don't understand. But I intend for this to help you people to be able to fix the death ray when the caulk and gun parts go bad. One thing I might add is when you pull the pull ring, pull the pull rod to catch the animal, make sure that you always pull this silver trigger in the front. This is a locking trigger for the death ray, and if you pull it dry, it'll make a sound and will wear off the edge that locks it. This is one that I had to take out, and there's a real solid burr on there from pulling it dry. If you pull them dry, you can expect less than a year out of the caulk and gun part. If you pull that trigger every time that you use it, you can get 2 to 3 years out of that caulk and gun part. So that is the main gist of what I wanted to get across to you. Thank you for your time.